Today we're making mountains, at least the way I make them. Hopefully this will be enjoyable. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently today. I plan on, well, because everything's very translucent the way I work, that when I usually make mountains, especially if I have multiple layers of mountains going back in space, I tend to I don't let the ones in the front overlap the ones in the back by any means, because it would give up the illusion of how translucent everything is. Very transparent as I put the tissue on to the canvas. So well, let me just go ahead and get started and show you. Like I said, I'm going to do this one differently. I'm going to have a cliff come down in the front here. It goes all the way down to the bottom. And then once that's dry, I'm going to have some mountains in the background that go up to the cliff. But because this is translucent, I usually go all the way across. But I'm going to stop right there and try to pick up the contour of the cliff. Again, this is an experiment. I don't usually do it this way, but I thought, why not try it out? We'll see how it goes. Worst case scenario is my mountains come right back off of my background because, well, if they don't go on right, they don't go on right, and I prefer them to go on in a much more aesthetically pleasing way. So, let me also bring you a little closer to see what I've done. Yesterday, I finished up by creating a gradient on the canvas here. It's just a color field at this point, and well, let me bring you a little closer so you can see what that looks like. And you can see there's a lot of texture and all sorts of things, nooks and crannies that have happened since the other day. With the multiple layers, many layers go onto this canvas, and they add up, and it's just kind of a really nice thing. I also want to show you how translucent everything is, actually. Let's see here. You can probably see right here. Here's a better example. This is a pencil line. When I measure out my canvas size, I make a nice square, or a shape, I should say, that is square. And the pencil, you can see, is right through. You can see it right through the painting. It's very very translucent art, and any mistakes will show up. So I try not to make any mistakes. I don't have many stray marks, or at least I try not to. And well, let me put you back down over here. And yeah, let's see here. I'm not sure where the camera was. I think it's about right there, but yeah, let me go ahead and get started on this. And like I said, it may go horribly wrong, and I may end the video, and you may not see this video posted later, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. I did this mountain. I wanted it to be tall enough, and the only tissue I had to make it this tall, I actually had to make it in two parts. So I'm going to build this mountain as a stack. Very counterintuitive for those of you who make mountains out there, but that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be working with tissue paper, which I've already created. And this is one of the sheets. It's going to be the bottom of the mountain. This will go down here. And then on top of that, got this mountain here, which will go above that. And that's how I get these on there. But let me just go for it. Let's see how it works. And hopefully I'm not tearing the mountain off. So I'm going to start with the bottom. And this is a gel that I've made from, basically it's matte medium. It's watered down quite a bit. The manufacturer does not recommend doing this, but I've been doing this for 15 years now. It works pretty well for me. I also do water down my paints quite a bit. The manufacturer does not recommend that, but it's how I work. It's how I've always worked. I've never had any problems. Their product's pretty good. So let's go ahead and stretch it to their limits. So let's get the bottom of the mountain started here. So I'm just really kind of getting a nice thin layer. Got a couple of pieces of schmutz that went on that one there, and there's the other pieces. So 2 pieces of schmutz. There's a third right there. Alright. Let's get this on. Alright, my main focus is just getting this on evenly. Without tearing, of course. If I tear it, it's not good. Alright, going pretty smooth so far. Alright, a little blemish there. That's definitely workable. And, oh, that's what I was trying to avoid. Not sure if you can see that, but I just had a little blowout here. Tissue, which is okay. I must have had it too wet. Alright, so that's the start of it. Alright, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I definitely have a little blemish at the bottom, which is no problem. I can fix that. It's just not desirable at first. But like I said, it's just going to paint that right out. Alright, so now I'm going to get the rest of this gel on in approximately the shape of the rest of the mountain, which will sit on top of what I just put down there. So, alright, even Steven, nice and even. Alright, gotta line up a couple things now for this all to work right. Alright, this isn't usually the way I do it, but alright, I forgot to talk for a little bit there because I was in some deep focus there, because things are definitely not, it's a different tissue I'm working with right now just because I wanted to go taller. And does not look like it's happy with its new home, but there's no major things going on. It's just not wanting to work with me. So I apologize for being quiet for the last few minutes. This is definitely a little high stress for me right now, although, you know, this really isn't stress compared to what goes on in the real world, of course. But Yeah, this is definitely a little bit trickier than I thought it was going to be, but let me back up and look. Alright, I'm ready. I'm relatively happy with that. So, yeah, let me just be gentle. Definitely doesn't like what I've done. What I'm trying to do is tap out some of these air bubbles. Some few air bubbles in here, which is fine. But yeah, trying to think of how to proceed. Like I said, this could have been a Hardwell. This could be going wrong, and I might not even realize it yet. And if it does, I'll just tear off what I did. All right. Alright, I'm trying to stay damp, not wet, but damp with this because the tissue, as you probably can imagine, doesn't like to be wet and touched. So, yeah. It's definitely not happy with me, but it's okay. This gel is definitely going down with a little bit of finesse. That's all I'm trying to get to happen here. I can see a few air bubbles when I look down here, and I definitely like to get rid of those because those air bubbles will catch paint later. So I'm going to try to avoid that. At this point, the less paint being caught, the better. And I kind of like that. And you're probably starting to notice I have these patterns show up, which is the tissue edges. To me, I kind of like that. There's one that's pretty prominent right there. I tend to paint those out a little bit, but what I do love about those is they have this sort of this subliminal quality to them. I'm not even sure how to describe it, but they kind of feel to me like either like looking out a window, where there's this faint window pane type of thing going on, or it's sometimes alludes to this feeling of like film, like yeah, photography or actually moving motion picture. But anyway, sometimes I push them back a little bit. Sometimes I leave them where they are because they're pleasing to me. But all right, well, I'm very happy with the way it turned out right now. This does have some time to dry before I do anything else because it was pretty stressful. That I didn't think that was going to work out as well as it did. It's sat. I can see that all those bubbles I was worried about, they've definitely stuck to the canvas a lot better, and so this is going to be successful. I have a blemish near the bottom which I'll add some paint to, and that'll disappear. My next step, once this is dry, which will be probably, I can feel it's still cool, it'll probably be dry in about a half hour. I'll then add my other mountain here. As I said, it's going to go right up to this mountain range, and because this is translucent, I'm going to take all the tissue that was going to go over the mountain off so that it looks like a solid rock. So that's just a short one today, or at least a short one for now. I'll probably post another one later once this is dry, and I may even take a look at whether some of these hot air balloons, how they'll start to look. Start to kind of, it's the fun part. This is where this is where the play all happens. I just don't know where this guy wants to be. It'll tell me eventually. If you have any suggestions, if you see a spot, say right here at this part of the video. But anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your morning or afternoon, and I will talk to you folks soon. What else did I want to say? I guess if I had anything else to say, I'll mention it later. Have a great one. See you soon.